5 abnormally large creatures in the world. Heard of the abominable snowman and Bigfoot, those fabled giants that may or may not roam our planet. However, there are creatures that definitely exist that are just as big, if not bigger, than these mythical creatures. Today we look at 5 abnormally large creatures in the world. But before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. Also, make sure to stay until number 1 to see the most insanely large creature that has roamed our planet. You probably won't believe your eyes. So, let's dive in. Number 5, Goliath Frog. The name says it all. The largest of the frog species, the Goliath can grow to a length of 1 foot and weigh upwards of 3 kilograms, making it as big as a house cat. Imagine Kermit on steroids. Enlisted as an endangered species, it is mostly found in the rivers and waterfalls of Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea. Also called the giant slippery frog, this amphibian has a yellowish-brown color that allows it to mesh with its surroundings while hunting prey. This includes insects, fish, crustaceans, and even small frogs. At the tadpole stage, the Goliath is not much bigger than the average frog, but it does go through a massive growth spurt in the first 3 months of its life. Because of its size, this frog is in great demand in zoos and even in the exotic pet market, which has contributed to a decline in its numbers in the wild. While astonishingly little is known about this incredibly shy and skittish frog, there is an interesting theory behind its large size. A study conducted in Cameroon in 2018 suggests that the secret lies in its habit of building nesting ponds for its young. Building the nest takes strenuous activity. Using their large and muscular hind legs, adult Goliath frogs dig deep depressions into gravelly riverbanks and push around rocks and stones that are close to half their body weight in order to form ponds. Through thousands of years of heavy lifting, the frog has evolved into the Goliath of the species, so goes the theory. Number 4, Japanese spider crab. Its Japanese name is Taka ashigani, which literally translates to long legs crab, and that is what defines this next entry on our list. The Japanese spider crab is not that big if you just look at its body, which is about a foot long, but with legs that span 13 feet claw to claw and a body weight of up to 19 kilograms, it's easy to see why this marine dweller takes the title of largest crab and largest living arthropod. It may also have the longest lifespan of any crab, living up to 100 years. This spider crab has a second Japanese name that gives it a bit of notoriety. This name, Shinigami, or dead man's crab, comes from ancient folklore in which the crab is a monster lurking in the kelp, grabbing hapless sailors and divers and feasting on their decaying bodies. Sounds scary? But this monster is actually a gentle giant. It feeds on plants, small animals, and even dead fish, and it lives in the deep waters of the Pacific Ocean, which makes it difficult to catch and hence a culinary delicacy in Japan. This orange and white crab has a bumpy, hard exoskeleton that serves as a protection against predators such as the octopus. It is known to adorn its shell with bits of kelp and sponge to camouflage itself. The spider crab's long legs are fragile and its greatest weakness. It is not so unusual to see a spider crab missing a few digits, but it can survive even after losing up to 3 legs. Luckily, the legs grow back when they molt. Number 3, Giant Armadillo. Armadillo in Spanish means little armored one, a reference to the overlapping bony plates that cover the animal from its head to its tail. The name is justified in the case of the pink fairy armadillo, which is about 6 inches long and the tiniest of the species. But there is nothing about the 5-foot-long, 50-kilogram giant armadillo that spells little. Native to the forests and grasslands of South America, giant armadillos use their keen sense of smell, strong legs, 6-inch front claws, and long, sticky tongue to catch and eat ants, bugs, plants, fruit, and occasionally carrion. They can have up to 100 teeth, are nocturnal and solitary, and can sleep for 16 hours at a stretch. But despite their impressive size and appearance, armadillos are not as much a threat as they are threatened. They are categorized as vulnerable to extinction. This is because they are hunted for food, for their claws, and even in the belief that they bring bad luck. Also, they are a naturally rare species. They have terrible eyesight and are very vulnerable to cold, and they've sadly earned the nickname Hillbilly Speed Bump for their tendency to get run over by vehicles. Armadillos are said to have existed for centuries and evolved from giant mammals called glyptodons that went extinct in the Ice Age some 11,000 years ago. With very little information to go around, the giant armadillo remains a cryptic creature, more suited to myth than reality. Number 2. Colossal squid. The colossal squid truly lives up to its name, with a combined body and tentacle length of 46 feet and weighing in at a massive 500 kilograms or more. The female of the species is larger than the male. This massive creature that lives in the deep seas surrounding Antarctica is the world's largest invertebrate. It also has eyes as big as dinner plates with a diameter of 27 centimeters, the largest for any animal, and its tentacles have suckers armed with strong swiveling hooks that it uses not only to catch food, but to defend itself against predators. The big peepers and sharp hooks serve as the colossal squid's strongest armor against its biggest foe, the sperm whale, which has a voracious appetite for squid and is known to dive thousands of feet in search of its favorite dinner. Like most large squids, there is very little information available about the behavioral or social patterns of the colossal squid. Many have likened it to the mythical Scandinavian sea monster Kraken, which dragged hapless fishermen to their doom with its giant tentacles in frigid waters. But that's hogwash. The colossal squid is not known to be an active predator, unlike its slightly smaller cousin, the giant squid. It simply floats around and uses its hooks to catch prey that may have strayed a little too close. So comparisons to the Kraken are rather unfair. Number 1. Blue whale. At the top spot is a creature that dwarfs all the other giants on this list. Say hello to the blue whale, which weighs 200 tons or as much as 33 elephants, and is as long as 3 buses at over 100 feet, and is quite clearly the largest animal on planet Earth. If you are still not as impressed as you should be, here's another fun comparison. Just the tongue of the blue whale weighs as much as an elephant, and its heart as much as a small car. The largest of the species was measured at 110 feet and 209 tons. The blue whale gets its name from its grayish-blue color, which takes on a completely blue hue underwater. It has a broad, flat head, long and shapely, tapered body, and wide flukes or tail fins. Its huge mass comes from a diet of shrimp-like animals called krill. It eats up to 4 tons of this daily. The calves consume only mother's milk and gain 90 kilograms a day in their first 100 days. The blue whale is from the baleen family, which means it has bristly plates called baleen attached to its jaw instead of teeth. It is also among the loudest creatures in the world, communicating in pulses, groans, and moans that are louder than a jet engine and can travel up to 1,600 kilometers. The blue whale shares the Japanese spider crab's lifespan of around 100 years. Its gargantuan size means it virtually has no natural predators, except for sharks and killer whales on occasions. But that's not to say that it isn't threatened. The blue whale is sadly an endangered species because of unchecked whaling in the 1900s. However, even after commercial whaling was banned in 1966, this large animal that sits at the top of the food chain remains vulnerable, with a population of just 10,000 to 25,000. Well everyone, thanks for watching. While you are here, click the links below to check out some more of our amazing videos. Also, go ahead and smash that like button